Hello everyone. My name is Peter. Welcome to the true stories being shared here. Please sit back and listen to today's story. My husband cheated and gave me an STD while I was pregnant. I'm currently 8 weeks pregnant. I recently had a routine pap smear and STD screening. A few days later, I tested positive for gonorrhea. I've never cheated on my husband, and I never imagined that he would cheat on me. When I confronted him about the test results, he seemed genuinely shocked and insisted there must have been a mix-up with the results. He swore he had been faithful and that there was no way this could be true. I insisted that he get tested. He agreed, and after several days, he finally admitted that he had met a woman online and had sex with her. He claimed it was a mistake, and he couldn't explain why he did it. He said that she had come onto him and that it was a one-time thing. I was disgusted and felt utterly betrayed that he had put me in such danger. We had planned this pregnancy, and we had been actively trying to conceive before I got pregnant, yet he showed no regard for that. The thought of continuing this pregnancy while dealing with this betrayal is overwhelming. I've been considering an abortion because the idea of bringing a child into this mess seems insane to me. I don't think I can forgive him. The thought of an abortion makes me feel terrible, but I can't see myself continuing this marriage or having a child with him. I nearly lost my mind when I found out he had unsafe sex with a random woman, risking both my life and our unborn child's. I'd rather not delve into what he's been doing online because I know it would only hurt me more. Related comment. Red Mandolin 8. Does an STD pose a risk to the baby's health? I think many of them do. With that in mind, I would terminate the pregnancy unless you're in your late 30s or 40s and really believe this is the only chance you'll have to have a child and it's your biggest dream to the point you do it while single. Definitely end the marriage. He's a slime ball. OOP. It was caught early, and I've been treated. Both I and the baby are safe. Update as of July 30, 2024. I finally decided to uncover the truth about his affair. I found out my husband's email password and discovered that he had been visiting dating sites for months. I also found the name and email address of a woman from hotel bookings he had forwarded to her. I Googled her information, found out where she works, and called her. When she answered, I got scared and hung up, but she called me back, and we talked for a long time. She said she didn't know he was married and kept apologizing. She told me that if my husband and I had been intimate in the past few weeks, I should get tested because he had given her an STD. I was shocked because I thought she had given it to him. She said he had gaslighted her into thinking she got it from someone else. I told her he did the same to me. Why didn't mention that I'm pregnant? She said she had cut off all contact with him and was considering suing him for it. They met on Tinder and had been seeing each other for 6 months. Although I initially thought she should have known he was married, I believe her because my husband doesn't use social media. He has an Instagram account but doesn't post pictures. She confirmed they had sex multiple times, contradicting his claim that it was just a one-time thing. She said they stayed at hotels until she felt comfortable inviting him to her apartment. We concluded that she was just one of many women he had been involved with because he had given both of us the STD. Hearing all this made me sick to my stomach, knowing there were other women. I feel so stupid for not realizing what was happening and probably wouldn't have discovered it if it weren't for the STD test results. My husband doesn't know I've uncovered this or that I've spoken to her. This is extremely difficult. I'm heartbroken and torn about whether to go through with the abortion, but finding this out is pushing me toward that decision. Related opinions. Throw RADL. It's heartbreaking that you have to make this choice. Until recently, you believed your marriage was intact and this pregnancy was something you wanted. But really consider whether you want to be tied to this man for the rest of your life and co-parent with someone so indifferent to your health and well-being. OOP. I wish I didn't have to make this tough decision. I don't want to co-parent with him, but at the same time I feel awful about the idea of having an abortion. My fear is that I might regret it deeply if I can't move past it. It's so frustrating because every choice is heartbreaking. Commenter: how did she not suspect he was married, even if she never went to his house or met any of his important friends or family in 6 months? Remember, the baby is innocent and half of you. OOP. She actually met one of his close friends, who is also married, which means his friend is also cheating. I'm not sure, but if his friend agreed to meet my husband's AP, then I guess he has an AP too. I'm pretty sure his wife, who is also my friend, has no idea about this. Commenter: the most important gift you can give your child is a great father. It seems you're dealing with a terrible narcissist. If you go through with this pregnancy, he'll be in your life forever, playing awful mind games with you and your child. Pregnancy is one of the most vulnerable experiences you'll ever go through. While pregnant, you're at risk of injury or death. Imagine if something happened to you and your newborn was left in the care of this monster, as the only person to care for an innocent life. Be grateful that you have clarity now while there's still time to make a decision and really think about your future. You can't trust anything he says about improving. He's capable of lying and willing to do so without remorse. If he feels bad, it's only because he got caught, not because he cheated. OOP. If I decide to continue this pregnancy, I won't want anything to do with him and will want him out of this experience and the child's life. I know that sounds selfish and might not be possible because he'll make our lives hell. Latest update. I'm almost 10 weeks pregnant. I've scheduled the abortion, and I feel immense guilt about it. My mind keeps changing. Should I have the baby? I'm terrified I'll regret it and feel awful about ending an innocent life. I'm also worried I might never get pregnant again. But then I think, maybe I'm doing the right thing. The thought of having to deal with this man for the next 18 years is overwhelming. We'd still be in each other's lives because we share a child. I'm all over the place, and I'm exhausted from having to make this decision. We haven't spoken in weeks, and he doesn't know I'm planning an abortion. I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing by not telling him about it. I've filed for divorce, and it feels like I'm facing 2 major losses at once. I'm so stressed and don't know how I'm going to survive this. If I go through with the abortion, I can move on with my life in peace, cut all ties, avoid custody battles, never have to see or hear from him again, no longer deal with his lies and deceit. If I keep the baby, this list is from someone's comment on my post, thank you. He'll want to be involved throughout the pregnancy. He'll want to make decisions about the child, from names to anything else you can think of. His family and their opinions. He'll want to be there during the delivery. He and his family will try to make the child believe you're the bad guy, and that dad is perfect. He'll be your child's role model. You'll have to ask his permission to make decisions like traveling or where you live. Your child will have a stepmother and possibly siblings who may not treat your child well. Your child will meet many girlfriends. You'll be forced to let him care for the child. He'll have the right to parent in a way completely different from yours, and if he's petty and immature, he might do things opposite to how you'd prefer just to spite you. Deal with his emotional/mental/financial issues. Never know if he's telling the truth or lying about everything. Did he feed the baby? Did he care for their cold the way you told him to? Why is the child hurt? Can you trust him to be honest? Can you trust him to be honest if he makes a mistake that hurts your child, even if being upfront would help the child? Or will he hide it and lie just like he did with his cheating? He'll meddle in your personal life, including when you start dating, entering a relationship, or getting married. I'm his dad, I have a right to know who's going to be around him, and other nonsense like that. You can be sure your romantic life will suffer if he behaves that way. Not many good men want to get involved in situations like this. He'll use the child to manipulate you. Related opinion. Commenter. Every point you made is completely valid. He will use the child against you. He may even think having the baby is the way back to you. You'll need help or feel differently once you have the baby. Anything is possible. OOP. He might try to use the baby as a way to reel me back in, and I'm not sure if I'm strong enough to resist, especially with all the pregnancy hormones. But taking him back isn't an option for me. There's no way we can move on from this. I don't trust him anymore, and what he did to me is unforgivable. Commenter. Think of it this way. The person who was supposed to stand by you and protect you was so selfish that he exposed you and possibly your child to a sexually transmitted disease just to satisfy a fleeting desire. This is who he is. Stuck somewhere. This is the person who would make decisions about raising the baby. OOP. He's not someone I trust to make decisions about raising our child. Update. Yesterday I had the abortion, and I don't know how I feel about it. It was a hard decision, but I believe it was the right one. I couldn't keep the baby under these circumstances. Now I just feel numb. I haven't told him, and we haven't spoken since I left him after discovering he gave me an STD. I know that when he finds out, he'll likely try to paint me as the worst person ever. I'm not sure if he even deserves to know the truth, or should I just tell him I had a miscarriage?